So the obvious question that we have to ask when we talk about doaholics is, what exactly is a doaholic? Well, there's 6 core traits that I've identified over the years. 3 areas where doaholics show a high aptitude, which I call Doaholic Superpowers, and 3 where they show a lower sense of awareness, which I call Doaholic Kryptonite. We're going to start by talking about the 3 areas of strength. So the first area of strength for doaholics is the fact that they are high achievers. Now, the research varies on the subject, but in my experience, high achievers make up around 10% of the North American population. And when I say high achievers, I'm not talking about people who work hard, get good grades, and achieve a lot in their careers. When I talk about high achievers, I'm actually talking about a personality trait, where someone comes to define their entire being by what they're able to achieve. In other words, achievement becomes the dominant marker of their identity. And that's the first true doaholic trait. Trait number 2 of doaholics is high output. Now, high output people are just what they sound like. These are people who can get stuff done. One of their core characteristics is a trait that I often call efficiency brain. People with efficiency brain will often talk about how their days are dominated by a consistent need to itemize tasks and then complete them. These are the kind of people who check their email during a movie, they can't relax on vacation, and they're always thinking about the next thing that has to get done. It's an extreme output mentality that shapes how they feel settled in their lives and even affects how they come to define happiness. The third doaholic trait is high standards. Most doaholics are what we refer to as self-directed people. That means they're able to set goals and motivate themselves on their own. It's a great trait to have. However, what self-directed people often end up doing is they create incredibly high standards for themselves. Then, because they're self-directed, they act as the sole referee to determine whether they've met those standards, and then after they meet the standards, they keep moving the goalposts and continually stretch themselves to chase the next goal. In this way then, high achievers create an output loop that constantly has them driving for the next goal, but oftentimes contentment is just as elusive as that goal. High achievers with high output levels and high standards are people who are going to work hard, accomplish tons, and probably make a whole lot of money. And those are all real superpowers. But they're also people who are prone to unhappiness, frustration, and the sense that they're not quite measuring up. If you want to know if you're a doaholic, go to doaholics.com and try out our free self-assessment tool.